All right. Welcome everybody to the Crusade cast. I wasn't we weren't able to really do a recording last week. I was coughing up really bad. So I do apologize about that. We tried to keep on a steady schedule. I wanted to go ahead and put out a podcast this evening only because I'm not going to be available Friday, and neither are any of my partners in crime, so to speak. So I did want to go ahead and I posted it up, and I have a lot of videos here because I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys something that's been really bugging me. So I set up a Facebook account for the Crusade Cast, and I've been going on a lot of these pages doing snarky remarks. But to be honest with you, the reason why I have an issue with a lot of these pages I'm on, and the reason why I'm doing a lot of snarky remarks, it's not because I enjoy doing it. It's because the amount of crazy that is in this world is really baffling to me. And as you get into these rooms and you start seeing more and more what's going on, I'm not going to lie, it kind of gets you angry, kind of gets you infuriated because you don't understand how people can be this stupid. So, for instance, there's a lot of things going around where people are talking about celebrities. So, I would like to go ahead and show you some of the clips that people have been putting out, starting with Bad Bunny.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are Americans.
So I wanted to pause it because I wanted to point out the absolute stupidity of this man. And I'm going to let him finish, but he says we're all American, except that ICE is going for people that are not American. They're not residents, they're not visa holders, they're not citizens. So this man already shows me he's intellectually stupid when it comes to politics, when it comes to what's going on. Now, the only thing I can think of is because he's Hispanic and because he's still trying to stay relevant in the music industry and in the world. And let's face it, a lot of people like his music. I don't care for it. I think he's a sad excuse of a Puerto Rican. I don't think he represents Puerto Rican men well at all. But I think he is smart when it comes to music. He's clearly made a lot of money. He knows how to make a lot of money. I think he's okay with selling his soul in order to make a lot of money. But the fact that he just said we're all American, but ICE get out, tells me his utter lack of intelligence in this area. So I'm going to let the video play out, and then we're going to move on to the next. I think I have a couple more critiques for this, but I'm going to let him finish.
Also, I want to say to the people, I know it's tough to know, not to hate on these days. And I was thinking, sometime we get contaminados. I don't know how to say that in English. The hate get more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love. So, please, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. If, we don't hate them, We love our people, we love our family, and that's the way to do it. With love. Don't forget that, please. Thank you. Thank you, God.
So, once again, this man's utter lack of intelligence in this. Fight with love. Okay, I guess I can kind of follow that, except are you loving all the immigrants that are trying to come here legally, that are forced to wait in line, that you're telling ICE not to deport these illegal citizens, supposedly citizens, because they're not citizens. If they're illegal, they're illegal. They're undocumented. They need to be moved out. Donald Trump won the presidency off of this very issue. The majority of Americans voted and they agreed with this. So this man already absolutely annoys me in every aspect. So I'm just playing a couple of these celebrities because celebrities, in my opinion, are very stupid. I think they should shut up, stick to what that they are good at. So if you're good at singing, focus on singing. You want to have an opinion, at least have an educated or at least somewhat intellectual opinion. This is stupid. Bad Bunny is an idiot. But that's enough about Bad Bunny. Let's move on to the next. We have this retard, Billie Eilish or Billie Eilish. Let's play hers.
I can't believe this. Everyone else in this category are so amazing. I love you so much. I feel so honored every time I get to be in this room. And as grateful as I feel, I honestly don't feel like I need to say anything, but that no one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and fuck ICE is all I want to say. Sorry. Thank you so much. I can't believe this.
So once again, another stupid celebrity saying all sorts of idiocy. Nobody's illegal on stolen land. What did she think the Native Americans were doing to each other? Did she think each tribe just got along all in harmony and everybody just respected borders and nobody took any land from anybody? Obviously, if that's what she thinks, she's a complete fucking moron. Excuse my language. I am a Christian. I am trying to work on it. But I can't stand these celebrities. I can't. Like, that was utter stupidity. Native American tribes were killing other Native American tribes and stealing their lands. So when she sits here and says nobody's illegal on stolen land, land is not yours by birthright. The only way you maintain land is that you have to be able to maintain it by force. Now, we as Americans can sit here and say, hey, I have a deed for this land, therefore it's mine. And the government upholds that. If somebody tries to take your land by force, you have police officers that will come and remove them, at least in most states, because you have New York City and a couple of others that are so fucking stupid that you can have, I forget what they're called, but people can literally, I think it's called squatters. If somebody squats on your land long enough, you can't just remove them. Sometimes it's years of battling in courts, and there are people that even just let go of their property because they can't afford to go through legal battles. But this stupid celebrity clearly doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And then she says, fuck ICE. Like she's proving something. Like we need to protest. Yes, continue to encourage people, show up to ICE, give them a hard time, and potentially be killed. Because most people don't understand how to protest peacefully. They go there and they interfere and they think it's a game. And I will tell you what I mean by that in a little bit. But let's go to the next absolute retard, Mark Ruffalo. I'm going to play this video.
Mark, what's the pin?
For Rene Nicole Good, who was murdered. We have a vice president who's lying about what's happening. We have we're in the middle of a war with Venezuela that we illegally invaded. He's telling the world that international law doesn't matter to him. The only thing that matters to him is his own morality. But the guy is a convicted felon or convicted rapist. He's a pedophile. He's the worst human being. If we're relying on this guy's morality for the most powerful country in the world, then we're all in a lot of trouble. So this is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today. I know I'm one of them. I love this country, and what I'm seeing here happening is not America. It's just not.
Mark, why do you feel that this platform is still useful to spread a message like this?
Listen, I want to pretend like this is, I want to be here to celebrate, and I am here to celebrate, and I'm proud to have a Golden Globe nomination. But also, this is not normal anymore. And so I don't know how I could be quiet. And I'm feeling a little sick, so it's hard to BS right now. So
Another celebrity fool. So he says that he's scared and that people are being terrorized and should be terrified. ICE is there for illegal immigrants, people. If you stay on the side peacefully and record off to the side and protest off to the side, you will have no issue. Mark Ruffalo is talking a bunch of nonsense that he doesn't know. Trump is not a perfect man. I don't even believe he's a spectacular man. I think he's doing a decent job. He's over here talking about Venezuela. Mark Ruffalo probably doesn't know a damn thing about Venezuela. He just saw that a president of another country was pulled out, and to him and all these other celebrity retards are going to sit here and say how bad that was. First off, to my understanding, we indicted that man, and we have him for some sort of drug trafficking laws. Now, granted, Trump went ahead and took him for much more reasons than just those drug trafficking issues. There's a lot more going on in the background. That's not really what I'm here to talk about. But Mark Ruffalo clearly doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's there just to get a quick, good photo op and video footage to hopefully increase his career. But other than that, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, this is what annoys me about celebrities. And then people want to hold them up high and make it seem like, oh my God, they're amazing just because they're rich and you like the things that they've done. So then you become stupid and you start actually thinking that their word means something. First off, never listen to a celebrity just to listen to a celebrity. These people are idiots. And a lot of them have sold their soul and will say anything just to increase the amount of money, the amount of fame that they can have. Because not for a second do I believe these people really believe half the crap that they say. But anyways, I needed to comment on some of this because some of these celebrities are really saying things and people are really baffling me by how much they're actually agreeing with them. And the thing is a lot of these people don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're just going with whatever celebrity says. And it's ridiculous. People, do your homework. Understand what's going on. ICE is a federal agency. They're trying to enforce federal law. Federal law means that they have a legitimate reason to do what they're doing. As long as it's legal and it's a legal operation, they're doing nothing wrong. So anyways, these are just some of the celebrities I wanted to show you. I thought it absolutely baffled me at how they say what they say. But let's move on. I want to show you the two footages because everybody keeps making a big fuss about this. I wanted to show you why everybody keeps saying the deadly use of force policy is, they keep using part of it, but they don't use all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you now. So this is Rene Good. We did go over the Rene Good shooting. I want to show you this. I want to show you two other videos and then go over it. So the reason why I'm pausing it is because I want you to notice how he gets out of his car, immediately starts recording. It looks like he's just documenting the video and that he got her in the front seat. Hasn't I haven't heard him say anything on this video at all. So it doesn't even look like he's engaging with them other than to record and document the video. So I'm going to keep playing it, but I just wanted to stop because people say, "Oh, he interacted with them, he started talking to them." I haven't heard him say anything. But let's continue.
Show your face. I'm not mad at That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us?
So once again, I haven't heard him interact at all. You saw that creature, whatever the heck it is now coming at the officer like, you want to come at us. Number one, it's not smart. You're interfering with ICE operations. It's not intelligent to go up to an ICE officer and start challenging them. So for all of you who sit here and are saying, once again, he went ahead and he was interacting with them, all he did so far is document it. I've heard nothing from him. But that creature starts going off on him and starts saying, "Oh, you want to go at it?" Not smart, people. Not smart. You have to use your brain in these kind of situations. So anyways, let's continue the video.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out.
As you can see, he's just continuing to walk around the vehicle. It took less than 2 to 3 seconds for the gentleman in the other truck, the other ICE agent, to come walking up to her vehicle. In literally 2 to 3 seconds, he's like, "Get out the car." And if I'm seeing this correctly, she's already reversing the vehicle, angling the vehicle differently to where he's directly in front of it. Now, he was already a little in front, but when she redirects it, she's aiming at him, and her tires from another angle, when she starts to accelerate forward, is still facing left. The only reason why that car didn't take off faster is because the floors are icy, the roads are a little icy, so it didn't grip right away. But we're going to continue this video because, as you can see, she's reversing to try to take away and not obey a lawful command. So let's keep going. As you can see, you heard the vehicle hit the agent. So my issue with this whole thing is everybody keeps saying he wasn't struck by the vehicle. That video clearly shows he was. You saw the phone and everything get moved. You heard the contact with the vehicle and the officer. He went ahead and took 3 shots real quick. But what did she do? She backed the vehicle up, put him more in front of the vehicle, and when she took off, she hit him. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through all these videos, and then I'm going to show you the actual policy of use of deadly force. So let's move to the next. This is Pretty. This is Pretty apparently 11 days before he got shot. Let's continue.
New footage has emerged of Alex Pretty, filmed 11 days before he was fatally shot by Border Patrol officers in Minneapolis on January 24th. In the footage, filmed on January 13th, Pretty is seen here, shouting expletives and spitting at a federal immigration agent's car during a protest. He then kicks the agent's vehicle, breaking a taillight.
So right here, I don't know how he wasn't arrested. I don't even know why he was on the streets. He just damaged government property. I can almost guarantee you what he did is either a misdemeanor or a felony. So the fact that he was still on the streets means the ICE agents were actually very nice, or whatever federal agency that is that he went ahead and destroyed government property to. Let me make this clear. This man is already showing to be radical and to be harassing and interfering with the federal agency. So I wanted to make this clear because in a little bit after I finish this footage, we're going to go to the actual shooting and see what happened.
The agents exit their vehicle and a scuffle takes place. Pretty, on the ground, loses his coat. When he gets back up, what appears to be a handgun is visible in
as you can see, this man not only resisted, got into a scuffle 11 days prior, and had his firearm on him at that point. If these ICE agents would have locked him up and would have actually dealt with the issue at that point, he would have been in jail, he would have been alive, he would not have been killed. But because our ICE agents are actually a lot more forgiving and let a lot more things go, this man was cleared to go home. And then 11 days later, he decided to do the same stupidity again, thinking that this is a game. So that was the footage of him 11 days prior. Let's go to the actual day where he is killed.
Security to Congress. CU nurse Alex Prettis. The report notifying lawmakers that a preliminary review of the body camera footage worn by federal agents at charge during the incident. At no point in the DHS report does it say Prettis attempted to reach for his weapon, as officials had initially claimed in the hours after the shooting. Prettis' firearm, which he had a legal permit to carry, was removed.
So as you can see, it looks like this one agent here removed his firearm. Here's the thing. I don't see or hear him communicate that with any of these people here saying that he took the firearm out. So let's continue.
Removed from its holster by an officer before the shooting. President Trump telling ABC News he believes the administration can still finish its immigration enforcement operation in a, quote, de-escalated form. Governor
Tragic. So they didn't show the other part. So what wound up happening in that other part is as he runs with the firearm in his hand, the firearm actually goes off. And those firearms are known for misfiring, for discharging. So what happens is the firearm goes off, it discharges, and guess what happens? Somebody shouts, one of the agents shouts, gun, gun, gun. Nobody knows he's been disarmed other than the one agent. These other agents pull out their firearm, they assume they're being shot upon, and they kill him. Once again, he went to a protest, he went to interfere, he had a firearm, he got into a scuffle with these agents again, and that is not their fault. He is the one that is supposed to be responsible. He has a concealed carry permit. When you are carrying a firearm, you have responsibilities. You have to take that seriously. You're not supposed to go looking for issue with law enforcement and get into a scuffle with them. I'll be honest with you. The law enforcement, the only criticisms that I have for that federal agency is that when the man took the firearm, he should have communicated it to the other agents. Now, if there is footage where he got on the radio and told them that and they still wound up firing on him, now we have a different story. But so far, with all the facts that are out, I will be honest with you. Prettis is the one that's in the wrong. And he has responsibility, and he decided to let that responsibility go because he thought he was going to do whatever he wanted, and that went south quick. So let's look at the deadly use of force policy that everybody loves to use. When it came to Rene Good, what is it that they were saying all over the internet, saying that it was unreasonable? So they would go to this part. They would go to number 2 of the deadly use. And let's look at the actual code, 116.200, use of deadly force and prohibited restraint techniques. This is straight from www.justice.gov. So these are the actual codes. Number 2 is what they like to use. Here's what number 2 states. Firearms may not be discharged solely to disable moving vehicles. Specifically, firearms may not be discharged at a moving vehicle unless 1, a person in the vehicle is threatening the officer or another person with deadly force by means other than the vehicle, or 2, the vehicle is operated in a manner that threatens to cause death or serious physical injury to the officer or others, and no other objectively reasonable means of defense appear to exist, which includes moving out of the path of the vehicle. Firearms may not be discharged from moving vehicle except in exigent circumstances. In these situations, an officer must have an articulable reason for this use of deadly force. A lot of them like to use this and then say, well, he should have moved out of the path of the video or of the vehicle. When you look in the damn video, he has 3 to 5 seconds to compute everything that's going on. From the 2 seconds where the other officer was approaching the vehicle, to the 2 seconds where the lady reversed, to the second where she accelerated. He did not have time to reasonably move out of the way. But here is what I love, because they love to use that, but they fail to look at number 6. Deadly force should not be used against persons whose actions are a threat solely to themselves or property unless an individual poses an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury to the officer or others in close proximity. She hit him with her car. That is imminent danger of death or serious physical injury to the officer. That falls within this policy. It falls within use of deadly force. I don't understand how you people don't understand this. And then you lie. Yeah, I get into these debates, and these people love to use 1, 2, and 3, but then they completely fail to use number 6. And they do that on purpose because they try to lie and manipulate people to think that these people are intelligent. They're utter fools. So I just showed you number 6 of that policy, which is 1-16.200, use of deadly force. So for anyone who thinks I'm full of crap, I just showed you my receipt. But let's move on to the next, because now that we got that cleared out of the way, if you're watching this and you still are saying that I'm wrong, even after I showed you proof, then I can't help you. Okay? Because I'm showing facts. I'm not here dealing in feelings. I'm not here to tell people what they want to hear. I'm here to show you facts. And the fact is number 6 covered that. And as far as Pretty was concerned, that officer did not tell them that he had taken the firearm. So all they knew is that they heard a firearm went off. They knew he had one. They pulled their firearms out and they shot. The fact that that man had a firearm tells you number 6 implies, because a gun is a lot more dangerous when you're in close range than a car. You can jump out of the way of a car depending on the circumstances, or if you're smart, you can maneuver yourself like the officer in time to get to such an angle to where you can barely get to the side, but yet use enough force so that you can stop the threat. These officers in the Pretty shooting did nothing wrong unless there are facts that come out where they were told the firearm was taken and these people decided to shoot anyways. At that point, then I will start backing the other people. As of right now, the ICE agents, there's no evidence showing that they knew. So as of right now, I'm sorry, but you're wrong until more evidence comes out. But let's move on, because I have this retard, Don Lemon. He's not even seriously taken anymore. I view him as a joke. He's never been a big deal. But I actually want to look at this. Let's look at what he did to this church. This is a brief reel I wanted you guys to be able to see.
I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now, but I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up. I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way. I don't think the answer is going into God's church.
You don't think this is peaceful?
Well, it's trespassing.
Nobody fighting.
It's trespassing. How would you feel if I went into your house and I started yelling?
It depends on what I did, but not in my house. That's a whole different thing. I think these people would go inside of anybody's house.
Well, this is a house of God.
So I love how, once again, these people are absolute morons and idiots. So Don Lemon went ahead, recorded before they went into the church, said he had to have some sort of secrecy because he couldn't just release all of the plans. And he knew why. He knew what he was doing. I don't really see him as a big deal, but he is a fool. And because he broke a law, he needs to be accountable. He needs to be punished. So, but let's look at that law, and let me pull it up for everybody here. So what they're trying to get him on is called the FACE Act, the Freedom of Access to Clinical Entrances Entrances Act. That's why they call it the FACE Act. 1994. I'm going to read this for you. Is a federal law prohibiting the use of force, threats, or physical obstruction to injure, intimidate, or interfere with anyone seeking to provide or obtain reproductive health services or exercising the religious freedom at places of worship. It covers clinics and churches with violations carrying both criminal and civil penalties. Don Lemon, get effed. You effed around and you found out. So they're taking you to court. They're going to probably find some federal charges to stick to you. And I hope you do time. I hope you do time. The left needs to start learning that they can't just do whatever the hell it is that they want to do with immunity and never get punished. These people need to understand when you break laws, especially federal laws, you need to be held accountable. And I hope he goes to jail for many years, not because he's a big deal, not because his opinion matters, but because you have to start setting a precedent. People need to start paying for breaking the law in this country. So I wanted to go over that, and I wanted to show you what it is they're taking him to court for, what it is they're pressing charges for, and I really hope they have something here. I hope they have something solid, and I hope they get it to stick, but only if it is legal and in the law. If he did not do something that actually merits jail time, then I don't want him to do jail time. But the FACE Act does cover churches. I have a feeling they do have him on criminal charges. And if that is the case, he needs to go to jail for whatever time that they can actually do, that they can actually enforce. But let's go on to the next thing, because I know I talk a lot about Trump. I talk a lot about how he's done really good. And Trump, for the most part, I will say, has done really decent in my eyes. He's done really decent as far as he's really picking up a lot of the things that Joe Biden dropped the ball. So Joe Biden was burning through our oil reserves. Saudi Arabia did not renew their oil contract with us. So our dollar is getting to be in a very scary situation. We need to have access to oil. Our reserves they were being depleted under Biden. He used that to kind of just push it along the line because you saw Biden. Let's just be honest. His mental abilities were not all there. I'm not knocking him. I'm not a Democrat. I don't care for Joe Biden. I don't care for Kamala Harris. I think they had crappy policies. And I think they're very evil individuals. But let's make this clear. Joe Biden was mentally compromised during his presidency. I don't blame him for kicking this down the line because he didn't have the mental ability to take care of it. And the little bit of responsibility he gave Kamala Harris for the border, she did nothing. She opened the borders. She allowed immigrants to come in, illegal immigrants to come in. They thought it was anywhere up to 10 million. A lot of people believe it was probably between 15 to 20 million. The fact that we had that many illegal and undocumented people that came in under Kamala Harris's watch is an absolute crime. And some of these politicians need to be held accountable. But needless to say, let's get back to Trump. I think Trump's done really well. I think he went into Venezuela for the oil. I think he went to Venezuela because Maduro, the Venezuelan president, was starting to talk to China and Russia. I think BRICS is starting to gain more power, and I think that puts our dollar in a very vulnerable state. I think he went there for a lot of reasons, and I think he used the drug trafficking, I believe it was the indictment, he used that as an excuse to go in and bring Maduro back here. But let's make no mistake, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and he didn't just pull a president out for being a drug trafficker. There's more going on to this, guys. But the one thing, as much as I'm very happy with Trump, I'm not too thrilled that he didn't go ahead and do the Insurrection Act. I'm not a fan that he hasn't been more aggressive in some of these major cities that are clearly doing insurrections against the government. They have actual databases. They have groups that are clearly going against federal law. They're fighting against our government. This is an insurrection. It meets all the criteria. So let me make this clear. Donald Trump, I think, has done a good job. I think he should have been way more quick to enact the Insurrection Act. He hasn't done it. The one thing that he does absolutely amaze me in is that he can make phone calls to people that are on the complete opposite spectrum and on the complete opposite side, and they don't like him, they don't care for him, but he'll make a call, and overnight things get done. I will give him credit because all of a sudden, the Minneapolis police or Minnesota's police all of a sudden started protecting ICE agents. They started guarding the hotels. They started actually going and doing their job. And all Trump did was talk to Tim Walz one time. And he supposedly made a deal. Now, Holland or Holman, I know it's Holman, he's going over there to take care of it. Dan Bongino has been demoted, or not Bongino, I always get it confused. But the old commander-in-chief of ICE, Benovino, something like that, he was demoted. So now the head of the ICE agency is headed over there. He's going to be getting it taken care of. So the left is viewing this as a win. They went ahead and pulled the one guy that was fighting them at all stops, and they're sending over the head guy. But apparently, Obama loved him, which means the left loved him, and the right loved him. So if there's one man you can send in there to try to get it done peacefully, will be him. I will tell you I'm not a fan of this because the left has shown that they're willing to actually do an insurrection against our government. They've actually been fighting them, and the fact that he hasn't done more actually kind of pisses me off. But you know what? He's done decent. I can't complain overall. But I'm going to show you something that is what really pissed me off with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump took Zionist money. I believe her name was Adelson or the Adelsons. He took their money, and anytime a political figure that is running for presidency takes their money, is usually bought and paid for by Israel. And I'm always skeptical when it comes to Israel, not because I hate the people, because I don't. The Israeli government is who I don't like. The Israeli people have a right to exist. They have a right to their own country. I have no issues with them having their own country, with them being able to defend themselves and have a place to call home. I have no problems with that. However, the Zionists here in America and the Israeli government are doing some very shady crap. And I am about America first. I do not agree with other countries saying they're our allies and then backstabbing us. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Because when Trump took their money, he allowed one of the biggest traitors in our history to go back to Israel. But here's where I get even more pissed, because the Adelsons, who gave Trump the donation, paid for a private jet to have this motherfucker, and excuse my language, but to have this prick, this treacherous prick, he should have been killed. Treason is, they can execute them. He committed treason. He gave naval secrets. He gave it to Israel, and Israel gave it to the Soviet Union. Let me tell you something. There is no country on earth that is going to give our naval secrets away and then tell me and look me in the eyes and say, we're allies. We are not allies. You gave our secrets away, and you had one of the people in our country perform treason. And I have this video here that I'm going to show you to prove a point, because when he lands in Israel after being given the permission from Trump to go back to Israel, which is why I am so pissed with Trump. Trump, when it comes to Israel, I believe is bought and paid for. I believe when it comes to the Middle East, I think that Benjamin Netanyahu can pee all over Trump, can do whatever he wants, and Trump will not do a damn thing. But let me show you the video of this SOB getting to Israel, and Benjamin Netanyahu is waiting there for a warm welcome for a man that gave them our secrets, and then they gave it to the freaking Soviets. Those sons of... Let me calm down. Because like I said, the Israeli government, they are not our allies. They're not our allies. I don't view them as friends. Now, the Israeli people, I have no issues with. But we do need to make a distinction between the Israeli people and the Zionist and Israeli government, who is doing everything they can to keep the American citizen kissing the boot of Israel. And here's what I don't understand. Israel is maybe the size of New Jersey, population wise, maybe the size of New Jersey. Yet this country, their government seems to control the biggest and most powerful government. And what I don't understand is the American people are waking up. We're not fans of it anymore. We don't want to just keep giving our money, our tax money away. We have a lot of problems here in America that need to be fixed. And somehow we're always giving them money. And Israel's the only country where we give billions of dollars and they essentially just get it. They don't need to pay us back. They're making money off the money we give them. They use some of it to buy weapons from us for their dome system, but a lot of it, they don't have to pay back. We're just giving them money. So when I find out that they gave our naval secrets to Russia, imagine my surprise when we're giving them billions of dollars and they're essentially probing us up the rear end by giving those secrets away. How do you think that makes us feel? How do you think that makes me feel? We're Americans, we're giving you money, and it's okay for you to steal our secrets? So I want to show you why I'm not one of these Trump fanboys that just kisses his rear end for everything he does. He's done very good on many things, but let me show you the video that I'm talking about so you can understand why I'm agitated. But here's the gentleman here. So in 2020, the Trump administration permitted Jonathan Pollard, a former U.S. naval intelligence analyst who served 30 years for spying for Israel, to move to Israel after his parole conditions ended. He arrived in Israel with his wife in a move welcomed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Here's my issue. I don't give a damn if he did serve his parole conditions and they ended. The man is a traitor. And the fact that he wasn't executed, shot in the head or hung, actually gets me pissed. But the fact is, Trump didn't have to let him go. Trump could have said, I don't give a damn where you want to go. This man has actually stated, Jonathan, what's his name again? Jonathan Pollard actually stated that any Israeli here in America should betray America for Israel. This man is trash to the lowest degree. But let's look at this video where this is the private jet. Look at this little shit right here. Look at this.
Go home, back home. Now, what a moment. זה רגע מרגש נורא שיונתן ואסתר הם בבית, חזרו הביתה, כמה טוב שהם באו הביתה.
This American naval intelligence trash. And he's saying he's returned home. Let's continue the video.
We are ecstatic to be home at last after 35 years. And we thank the people and the Prime Minister of Israel for bringing us home. No one could be prouder of his country or its leader than we are. And we hope to become productive citizens as soon and as quickly as possible and to get on with our lives here.
Absolutely unacceptable. So you see, guys, when it comes to Trump, I'm not foolish enough to believe that Trump at all is perfect. The fact that he let that man go back there, knowing that he did that for them, and is now going to essentially live his dream of being with Israel, pisses me off. This man was a traitor. Why would you give him what he wants? You should force him. to stay in this country that he hates and disdains and committed treason in. I was hoping he'd suffer for the rest of his life, that treacherous mother effer. So I have to calm down because, as you can see tonight, I went through a lot of things with you guys. I went from celebrities being complete morons to the 2 shootings to the code, the policy code that deadly force is allowed to be used. I went all the way through. I kind of briefly went over to the Trump and Venezuela thing, why he did it, how there's more things going on. And I also showed you how Trump is not infallible. He's not this guy that can do no wrong. I just showed you how he let a traitor of naval intelligence go to Israel, and he was flown in there in a private jet where the prime minister welcomed him with open arms. So let me tell you, when I tell you, Trump, in my book, is not perfect by any means. To be honest with you, I don't trust him when it comes to Israel and foreign affairs in the Middle East. I think he's been bought in that area. I think he's been paid for. I also think that they may be blackmailing him. I don't know. But the fact is, I don't trust him. The fact that he did that pissed me off, actually. So let's see what he's going to do this time around. We really don't know. I showed you guys the FACE Act with Don Lemon or Limon, however you want to call it. But the reason why I showed you all that is to tell you that this world is getting crazy. It's getting crazy. I showed you how that policy 1-16.200, deadly use of force, how those officers had every right to do what they do. I actually showed you fact. I'm not pulling this out of my hat, right? According to the situation, see, when they're taken before court, which I don't believe the Rene Good shooting is going to court, I believe that they're looking into the Prettis situation, as they should. Just because they're ICE agents doesn't mean they can't mess up. Doesn't mean that Pretty's family, if he has any, shouldn't receive compensation if they screwed up. If they messed up, then the government needs to pay a fair wage for their screw up. But you got to understand, I know immunity is a double-edged sword, which is why I do believe that under certain circumstances, that immunity should be waived. I don't think in the Pretty shooting, I don't think that showed anything for the immunity to be pulled and for them personally to be fiscally responsible, at least not from what I've seen, not from what's out. Now, if other information comes out and other facts are made known, then yeah, I'm open to it. But as of right now, if they deemed that the officers did nothing wrong, and they're willing to give monetary compensation from the government's end, okay, we can talk about that. I don't believe that they should, but the guy was unarmed. The ICE officers that shot him didn't know that, at least not from the evidence that's there. So because he's unarmed, if you want to talk about giving them some monetary, some monetary punishment or damages, okay, I can understand it. He was unarmed. Do I think that the officers should be responsible? No, not in any way, shape, and form. Not with the evidence that's out. But I showed you guys the code because I like to deal in facts. I don't like to deal with part facts. I don't want to just give you this and not this. I see a lot of that being done, and it absolutely drives me nuts. It's like, look, if you're in the right, give all of the information. If you're right, the people can read it, look at it for themselves, and come to the same conclusion that you did. I gave you part 6 because everybody's going around giving you 1 through 3, and I showed it to you on camera so you can read all 6 for yourself. But you'll see, if you look at number 6, they were at fear of their life of serious injury or imminent death. That falls under number 6, clear as day. But I showed you the whole thing. The FACE Act, Don Lemon, he's not going to be able to run from that. There's something happening to him, whether it's civil or criminal, and I have a feeling it's going to be criminal, and he's going to be locked away for a couple of years. I don't know how long the sentence can be. Some people are saying he might be looking at 10 years. I don't know how accurate that is, but I showed you the FACE Act. I showed you where it said clinics and churches. I didn't just say it. I actually pulled it up. I took the time to show you because you need to know the truth. You need to have the facts. I even showed you how Trump, he's not infallible. He let a traitor go to Israel, the place that he committed treason to give them information to, the place that he wants to live. He gave a traitor what he wanted. I'm not a fan of everything Trump does, but I will give him credit where it's due. And I think doing what he did in Venezuela might be a double-edged sword. We're going to see. It may be pushing other countries towards the BRICS system, but in the short term, it probably bought us several years because we needed the oil, we needed to replenish our reserves, and we need to be able to have oil to run our infrastructure. And fortunately for us, Venezuela's oil will allow us to do that. So, anyways, that's enough of a rant from me, guys. My name here, obviously you guys know, it's the Reaper, aka Ben. If you guys have any comments or questions, or if there's anything you want to look into me, or if you even want to debate with me in the comment section, I do everything I can to get a hold of everybody. So if you leave me any comments, I will get back to you, and I would look forward to debating with you. But if you have any critiques, criticism, or any words of encouragement, please leave them down in the comment section. And we're hoping to be able to start getting more podcasts out regularly. Like I said, I was a little sick last Friday, guys, and I'm going to be out of town this Friday. So unless my other partners in crime want to come on and do a podcast on their own, we probably won't be there this Friday, which is why I'm trying to release this tonight. Okay? But anyways, we love you guys. The Crusade Cast out.